guys that come here this morning are going to turn that on its side. These are all rusted and they don't have good heads. This still has screw heads. We also have to take this piece of the fence and there we go. See? Yeah. Now you know why I didn't get back my security deposit. So an afternoon of burning old documents. A lot of these have to do with my time in Hollywood, and I see pitches, emails, printed out, faxes from a time when I was willing to do anything to be a screenwriter.
It was like having this close to your dreams, and then watch them brush past you like a stranger in a crowd.
I need to talk about a chapter in my life because I've been burning a lot of stuff from that chapter. I call it the Hollywood chapter because, believe it or not, I was out in Hollywood for a while trying to make it as a writer, as a screenwriter, as a filmmaker, and it didn't quite pan out for me. I've always wanted to make movies since I was a kid. Made some short films on Super 8 with my friends. They were pretty ridiculous. And then I just sort of put it aside and tried to find work, met my wife, and she read some of my writing one day and said, "You need to be doing this." So Lauren said, "Let's go out to LA." So we went out to LA. As I mentioned, I sold the screenplay to Bodicea. There were the cards that I was burning those in a previous video because those were cards we did to try and promote it and get people to notice it. And it took us years just to get that noticed and then sold. Never got produced. But we also submitted to screenwriting contests. There were a lot of them out there. I placed in the quarterfinals at the Nicole Fellowship, which is, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the Oscars, basically. And then I placed in the semifinals, and the script that placed in the semifinals was picked by Walt Disney Studios and ABC Television for their one-year screenwriting fellowship. There were 9 of us. Here is the original article from Variety, and you can see me right here. And over here is these are the other 8 fellows. It didn't pan out for me. It probably could have if I didn't get my ego in the way. Certainly had a lot of people who believed in me, but my ego got in the way. I thought I was bigger than this city and bigger than the industry and ended up losing. You look at these other fellows, some of them, not only are they extremely talented, but they know how to play the game out there. And they're probably better people than I am. But it's kind of nice to visit it now. 24 years later, 24 years ago, I was in that fellowship with these people.
50 years ago, for 5 minutes, you came this close. I mean, it would kill some men to get that close to their dream and not touch it. God, they'd consider it a tragedy.
Son, if I'd only gotten to be a doctor for 5 minutes, now that would have been a tragedy.
Baseball is Doc Graham's dream, but he ends up becoming a doctor. Being a Hollywood screenwriter, producer, showrunner, whatever, that was my dream. I ended up becoming what? For me, there have been 3 identities on the Camino. And first, when you choose to walk the Camino, there's the identity of pilgrim, or peregrino. That's where I was initially, just seeking to get to Santiago. You're on a pilgrimage to a specific geographical location. So start out as a pilgrim. When I got to Costa Jerez, there's this beautiful woman has a meditation spot for peregrinos. And I walked in there and she said, "Please come in and sit down." And I sat down and looked at the beautiful Maceda in front of me. And she had these cards and I bought one. I had several postcards. One of them said, "Mystic Pilgrim." And I like that idea, going from pilgrim to mystic pilgrim. What is a mystic pilgrim versus a pilgrim? Pilgrim's just going, a peregrino is just going to a geographical location because of the whole significance. A mystic, you look up mystic in the dictionary, all a mystic is, when you use it as a noun, is a person seeking conscious contact with God. The road manager for AC/DC says God is the name of the blanket we throw over the mystery to give it shape. And I was seeking that mystery. So I realized that's when I made the transformation into Mystic Pilgrim. Once I became that guy, then I was able to be more authentic with people. People who watched my video said, oh my gosh, when you got so frustrated, you said, fuck the Camino. I said, fuck the Camino on the Camino. It's only after looking back that I can say, wow, I see what I was, And at first I was thinking maybe I went too far, and then people have written me, and even people in my own life have watched and said, when you got authentic, you gave me courage to be authentic. I thought, wow, so that's some good of it. So I think that's what a mystic pilgrim does. You go from just I'm on a walk to I'm on a walk for a higher purpose and trying to connect with a higher power and take guidance from that. The third level, and this is where I'm aspiring to, and this is what I aspired to when I moved to Spain, but this last time on the Camino, which was just over the Pyrenees, if you watch the final day of that, I walked with a guy named James. And it was his first time, and actually he started in Urdanese, so it was his first day. I got to help him on his first day. And I heard this term, shepherd. Maybe shepherd is the next stage. I'd love to be a Camino shepherd for what's left of my life. Because it starts with our ego. I'm just walking because I want to say I've walked the Camino. That's the ego. That's the eat part from Eat, Pray, Love. Then it becomes mystic pilgrim, where you start to realize you're trying to connect to something bigger than yourself. That's the pray part. And then the love part is when you take it all and give it to other people, and that's the shepherd part. Some people wish they could make movies and be a screenwriter, and they think it's a tragedy if they only have that little close. But if I'd been a pilgrim or a mystic pilgrim or a shepherd for only 5 minutes, that would be a tragedy. While I'm sitting here looking solemn, I'm going to put a link down over here for Baby's Breath. If you actually want to watch this movie, there will be a link at the end of this video. So this is me in 2023. I was directing an independent film that I had written called Baby's Breath. As you can see, I'm very pensive, don't really know what I'm doing. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Horror in El Dorado, and it's all captured by a Hollywood film crew.
For the past 3 weeks, the Butler County town has been the perfect sound stage for an independent horror movie. In more local news, Cake's Eric James talks with the director and has a preview of the movie.
This disembodied ghost of a child who witnessed a crime and is trying to tell people what she saw. However, she can only speak in that sort of, she's 18 months old, so she can only speak in that baby talk.
The independent movie was written and directed by Matthew Krause. He chose El Dorado to shoot his first film in because it's his hometown, and hometown folks like these are always eager to pitch in. Home is also where Krause found his little star Caitlin Blackburn, leading lady Jessica Sullivan, and leading man Gregory Yoder.
The screenplay, I read it and just couldn't put it down, as I kept reading it, and it was just something where I knew I wanted to do it.
It's really comfortable. I mean, I'm in a movie, but it doesn't feel like it because I'm so familiar with all my surroundings and most of the people I've grown up with.
So when will you have a chance to see Baby's Breath? Krause hopes to have a screening in Wichita late this summer.
So here's what happened to the movie. We ended up making it. We shot it in late January, actually in February 2023. Prior to that, Lauren and I went to the Sundance Film Festival. Here you can see my transportation liaison card. I was simply a transportation liaison, stood out in the snow rather, and told people which buses to get on. But it was a way for me to network and connect and talk about the movie with others. Then we came back and we shot this darn thing. And after we shot it, we took it to MIFED. MIFED is a film market in Italy. Here you can see my exhibitor's badge, my goofy face. Dorado Village Films Limited was the name of our company. The film did not sell, did not do well. We ended up having to distribute it ourselves on DVDs. We got a lot of coverage from the local news, and as you can see, this is one of my favorite quotes I made about the small town attitude with big ideas. The community came together to help us make the movie. I say it was like a Frank Capra film. We got some photographs here from the shoot. These were run in the paper. Some other photographs of us behind the scenes. And that's my best friend there, David Cooper. Here's some photographs on the newspaper from behind the scenes. Me at the editing bay, me unloading gear. In keeping with the emptying of the backpack process, I had to let go of a few things that were kind of painful to let go of. There you can see Baby's Breath 2003. This was a director chair for Lauren. She was the producer. Over here is the director chair for me. They traveled with us for a while. Mostly mine was just used as a place for my cat to sleep, but he doesn't sleep there anymore, and they've been in the closet for the last 8 years. They're not in good shape. Nobody's gonna want them in a garage sale, or even if we gave them to Salvation Army. The only thing to really do for them is say goodbye to that chapter of our lives. Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. Pain done again. Hold it down to the whistle of the night.